For the record, I'm speaking with
So
Walt
this
Thrombey,
is a
Harlan
little series of
Thrombey,
scenes
Joni
that
Thrombey.
explains how Walt got his broken leg.
Bicycling accident. Dumb.
So originally there was
So,
this little
who's running
setup in the
from
beginning in the
Shannon?
interrogation, and then you're going to see coming up here a scene with Riki Lindhome and Daniel. That kind of shows, again, another level of desperation to Walt's character. So the idea was we got into it through here. We're going to see the news report and kind of use that to transition to Riki driving home. And so we're going to get a glimpse of Donna and Walt's house and kind of their home. And this was freezing this morning, by the way. It doesn't look that cold. It looks nice, but this was the coldest morning of the entire shoot. It was so freezing. Poor Riki. So this is Raul Castillo, who's an incredible actor who I'm a huge fan of from the series Looking. He's amazing, and he was so kind to come up for a few days and do this small part. He plays a cop. He's right in here pretending to be this threatening guy. And the reality is we're going to pick up a thing which we never ended up shooting where basically Blanc set him up. He's one of the cops, and Blanc gave him his jacket and said, put this hat on and pretend to be this gangster who showed up. So there was a scene after this that we didn't really shoot where Raul is like taking off Blanc's jacket and giving it back to him, and you realize he's the cop from the beginning. And Blanc has done all this in order to kind of get this information out of Donna. So Riki Lindhome right here, she's an incredible actor. She is a terrific comedian and singer-songwriter. She's a great writer. There's nothing Riki can't do, and she's so good in this scene. It broke my heart to cut this from the movie, but it was one of those things where with this and also the other cut scene with Joni, once we kind of realized that we didn't need it pacing-wise in the second half of the movie, it was something where we realized we could lose it and we had to lose it. So the idea is that this would kind of seeing Walt's desperation here and spelling it out, and then this would lead directly back into Walt making his play for Marta in the hallway.
Where is Walt now?
That's it. All right.
So
Everyone's stories
this
match.
is a little
Every moment
setup
counts.
you're about to see here for a scene with Toni, Collette, and Daniel.
Creaky one.
And this setup obviously comes kind of early before Marta's scene. We notice that he's got a little rash on his neck. And we don't really explain it, and we just kind of set that up and let that linger. And then the scene that follows here would come later in the film. This is kind of after the will reading. And it's him confronting Joni and sort of revealing a second layer of desperation to her character and kind of revealing that her company, Flam, is completely broke because they're selling snail jelly moisturizer that causes rashes. And I love this scene so much. I think both Toni and Daniel are fantastic in it. And I think they're very funny in it. But it was one of those things where once we realized that, similar to the scene with Walt, that's the other deleted scene on here, once we realized we didn't need that extra layer to these characters, once we realized we didn't need this scene pacing-wise, this originally landed in the back half of the movie where you kind of just want to be hitting the gas. And it was something where it was obvious. The scene was so good, but we ended up cutting it out fairly early just because it was kind of immediately obvious that, I love Toni's look there. It was kind of immediately obvious that it wasn't narratively required. But I just think they're both so good in it, too. I love the way it looks, too. I think Steve did a really particularly beautiful job, that steely light on Daniel and him in those surroundings. I think it just looks terrific.
I hope you won't.
And it's cheesy, but I like do anything rash.
Anything rash.